Phenomenal African Women UK. Ready to be inspired, celebrated, and empowered? Hey, it's the Afrodia Empower podcast, where we share our real and relatable experiences as young Black women connected to the African diaspora. Invite some friends and join the conversation with your hosts, Shernorva, Emmanuella, and Blessings.
Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Afrodia podcast. This is our 13th podcast, and we're really excited for today.
I know.
Yeah. So it's me, Emmanuella. I'll let the rest introduce themselves.
It's me, Shernorva, you know.
She always does that. You know that accent when she says her name? And I'm just like, how do you do it? But yeah, guys, it's me, Blessings, back and better.
I hope you guys are all doing well. We've just finished our event last night. It was really exciting. It was really good.
Honestly.
So we're really happy just to have a chill conversation today. And it will be on rebirthing the leader in you. But before we delve into all of that, we want to talk about something very important, something very significant, something that is life-changing, and that is, who is your favorite Disney princess? I'll start
Do you know
first.
what? No, can I quickly say, I was going to be like, you're being dramatic, but actually, when you think of how much Disney has impacted every single person in the world, it's a big thing. It's a big thing.
Exactly.
Shall I just be the, spoiler here? I was just not that Disney kind of girl growing up.
Blessings, let's not go into this today.
I was more Barbie, like Barbie Life in the Dream House. Okay, no.
To be fair, when I was young, no Disney Channel, no Nickelodeon, man.
See, I only got Disney Channel when I was like, in year 7?
Yeah,
late year 6.
Older.
So I didn't grow up on it like that.
Who was paying for Sky back in the day? Like,
we had all three. I hate to make you feel bad, but
the thing is though, I used to have it, but then when my dad found out we weren't doing our work, so he would take it off. So it was like if we were doing well, it was there. But when we were doing bad, it wasn't there. So
that happened to my cousins.
So actually, I'll
painful.
Start first. Who is your favorite Disney princess?
Oh wait, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? What's that black one? The black one. Gosh, that's so bad. The Tiana. Black lady, Tiana. Yeah, I think even though I never watched her in films, I feel like, seeing her on TV, I always felt represented. And I was like, you know what? This is me. I'm this elegant girl. Like, so I think she would be my favorite. Yeah. Even though I don't know much.
Me? Okay. What did you say, even though you don't know what?
Even though I don't know much about her.
Oh, okay.
I just feel like she's really pretty. Yeah.
We said even though I don't know her name. My favorite Disney princess of all time is Mulan, and I've always loved the story because I love her strength, and I also love the fact that she's just, I was going to say something, but I don't know if I can say it on the podcast, but yeah, I also love the fact that she almost doesn't care in terms of like, okay, I care about my family and I care about our legacy, but the fact that I'm a woman is not going to stop me from being amazing. So even though all these barriers are in place, and it feels like everyday life, right? Even all these barriers are in place, and stuff, I'm just gonna step through and be strong and be fierce anyway. And in the end, she does get the prince, but I love that she doesn't have to like pine over him. Like, he sees her fully as who she is, as a strong, fierce woman, and he wants her all of that as well. So I mean, but yeah, she cool. I'll make a man out of you. She's cool.
I was even going to say, like Dr. Noah would say, that's a word, girl.
Oh. Wait, Shernorva, do you know how you just made me look? I'm like, I don't really know her name. I don't know who she is. And this girl gives a whole biography of her whole life, beginning to end. It puts a bit of feminism touch into it. Really?
I'm sorry. I've watched it a few times, No,
I kid, but that's really cool though.
But you know what, Tiana, sorry, Emmanuel, I know you're gonna jump in as well with your one, but Tiana, because I watched the film, the film again, I don't know, like a couple of years ago or something. And actually, when you see the way she loves her culture and her background and the whole New Orleans and the way they integrate it in a way that it doesn't feel signposted, like, oh, she is black and these are things that, like, she just looks like she is enjoying her life.
True. Yeah.
And then obviously there's a lot more to the story than that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would say, I mean, before I used to think Tiana for sure. Like I was certain that Tiana was out. But now I'm like Tiana and Milan. But you know, for this episode, I'll be speaking on Tiana. I just love her hard work. Really, I really liked that she was really dedicated, and she had like her little pot of money that she was saving up for her, you know, restaurant, and she always dreamed big.
Yeah.
Tiana is gorgeous. Number two,
Yes.
Come through.
absolutely stunning, and I think the third thing I like about her is that she was um very focused and unafraid to be herself. Even when she found out that he was the prince, she's like, and what? And you know, she was very much herself and not intimidated by his position. Even though they're
Mm.
frogs, you know, there's a lot that can be pulled out from this character
There
analysis.
you go.
I
Um,
mean, if you want a
but
whole
if you're
episode on
watching,
that, guys,
pardon,
Let us know.
if you
Let
want a
us
whole
know.
episode of us
if
going
you
into
want a whole
characters that we
episode,
love
let
just
us
generally.
know. Please let us know in the comments under our Instagram
This
post.
summer, I need to binge watch all these Disney films that you're
Okay.
talking about.
I was even thinking about watching it today, but I have an essay to write, so. mm.
Oh,
But
After
yeah,
the essays, after the essays,
after
the
the
essays,
essays.
we can do some watch
So,
parties.
pardon?
We can
what's
do some
that?
watch parties
We
where you
really
watch a
could.
film at the same time as your friends, so you'll watch it at the
Yeah,
same
we
time.
could.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to do that. Yeah.
So, guys, please let us know who your favorite Disney princesses are, if you have any. It could be Prince if you want. It's up to you. But today we are discussing rebirthing the leader in you. And I'll just ask my fellow teammates, my fellow friends, what does leadership mean to you personally?
Um, oh my days, I'm laughing because just before we started this, Blessings was like, you know, when you get those really existential questions that are just so big, and then you're like, I don't know, but you try and make it sound really cool.
One of them.
I think being a leader, is about, okay. So for me, being a leader is about fully being who you are, but also being humble in that space. I'm I'll go into like a little more detail, but in terms of being fully who you are, like expressing yourself, how you express yourself, like visually, and being a boss and being able to know your area as well, I think is important to be a leader. You can't be a leader in an area and not have a clue about it. It doesn't really work like that. But I also think, in terms of the humility part, it's important to be wanting to gain knowledge, to learn, to lead other people in love as well. It doesn't mean leading people in love doesn't mean that you have to be soft, because there's different types of leadership styles. But it means that you have to have compassion as well. But that's for me.
I agree with you, Shanova. I was gonna leave it at that, but I was like, let me give something, let me give my 2 pence. I would say a leader is also able to develop other people's leadership skills that they lead to. So it's not just about them, dictating what to do, but they're actually trying to hone the skills of the people that they lead. And I think that's a really important skill. And that comes with, for example, say you have a big project coming up and you're able to delegate tasks to each individual based on their strengths. I think that's a really important skill because you're developing them and helping them, become an even better team member, leader, and good at what they do. So I think that's also an important part of a leader.
Yeah.
I think you all mentioned a really good point. For me, it's just starting with you. I would say, as I was listening, like in terms of being a leader, like how do you manage you? Like how do you manage your temperament? How do you manage money? How do you manage your health? How do you remain disciplined? Because I don't know, leadership is more than just standing in a room and telling me what to do. I must be observing some sort of character, some sort of discipline, maturity that I'm so inspired by, that I want to model. You can just tell when someone's just a leader, like they're so confident in what they know, so much so that they make you feel confident, if that makes sense. They
Yeah.
show so much, you're like, wow, yeah, I want to be at that stage, or I want to really grasp that knowledge that they have. um I think it starts with you. Don't let it come from a place of pride per se. She never mentioned humility, and I think that's so important. As a leader, you must always know that there's some things that you don't know. um, some things that you still have to find out. There's some things that you're those that the people that you are leading are informing you about, that you're not necessarily the most important person on the team, that you are surrounded by the most important people in the team, kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I think leadership is to
And
me.
I will just add as well, as a leader as well, you need to be able to pull your weight, because it's so frustrating to work with people where someone else is leading and it's very clear they're doing nothing, and you as the team are doing the main bulk of the work. But as the leader, whether things go good or go bad, things usually come on them. But when things go good, I mean, my girl or my man is up there like, woo, look at it.
Yeah. Look what
I
you
did
did.
such a great job leading my team. You're like, what did you do? Like, I haven't seen you for a month.
Click, 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 click.
I haven't seen you. So yeah, I'll add that in as well. Show up and do the
100%.
work.
100%.
And another point that I would add as well in terms of rebirthing the leader in you, yes, you at home, is that when people think about leadership, they think when they think about leadership, they think that, oh, to be a leader, I have to know everything about an area. And I don't think it's possible that someone can know everything about a particular area.
Yeah.
However, there are things that as individuals, we are all an expert in, even though people don't want to be like, oh, I'm an expert in this. But there's something that you are good at. If you're really good at cleaning the toilet and just getting it sparkling, like some people, I'm telling you, I was gonna say cleaning generally, but the toilet just seems a little bit more specific. So the toilet, you see that toilet, you're like, did you just buy this yesterday? How did you get your toilet looking like this? And then they're giving you tips and stuff. That person's an expert in cleaning the toilet, and they could go on YouTube, start a channel about cleaning the toilet, and literally start getting views. Because some people are like, I don't know how to clean my toilet. So it's important to note that being an expert, it could be in an area, it could be in an interest you have, it can be hobbies, it could be your work, but being an expert in your area doesn't mean that you have to know everything, and everyone is an expert in some kind of area as well.
And I think even with that, like if you have a hobby or a skill that you're good at, it doesn't stop there. What can you do to improve your skill and get it on the next level? And you know, with your toilet example, I'm taking it as a metaphor, right? Right. Like, I mean, there are probably, there's someone out there with their toilet YouTube channel. But do you get what I mean? Like, in whatever area that you're in, you can improve. So maybe if that means like you started public speaking, go to public speaking, sessions or clubhouse and start having conversations to improve yourself. So whatever area you're in, make sure that you don't just stay at the point of, oh, I'm a leader, but you need to improve. You actually need to upskill. So that's another tip. Yeah. What else, people? What else?
Blessings, you mentioned about going on house parties and did you say clubhouse?
I said clubhouse. It was very different.
It was close.
Close.
Clubhouse and speaking and engaging in speaking. What's it called? Engaging in speaking with other people, and I agree. But as we were planning for this, we also mentioned reading. and still learning, continue to grow. Lesson said that readers are leaders. um,
Mm-hmm.
and even this is even a tip for myself to continue to read, um, and make time to read,
For
uh,
real.
because again, you're consistently learning. What approach used to work like 2 years ago might not necessarily work now.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
And another thing I'm gonna add in as well in terms of being a leader, um, the number of people you lead is not a reflection of how good or bad you are. I'm a big believer
Word,
in
girl.
Preach.
I'm a big believer in if you can be trusted with the little, then you will get more, right?
Mm,
So if you have problems with your finances, if you have £100 coming in, you are gonna have problems with your finances if you have £1,000,000 coming in. Like, it doesn't
exactly.
change. You are the same individual who struggles with their finances.
Mm.
And it's the same thing with leadership. It's great to start small because you don't feel like you're being like pushed into the deep end with different personalities and you're trying to work out your leadership style. So actually starting small and leading one person or two people, three, four, five. Okay, five's a lot. Two, three, maybe stop at three. Um, is a great way for you to hone in your skills, especially if you have people around you who you love as your or so, when who you love or you're leading because you're really passionate about that thing. It's a great way to be able to hone your skills and learn the art of being a leader. And it's the same way like you can learn different skills. Being a leader is something, especially as you develop in it, it's something that you have to look at good leaders, learn from good leaders. Like, go and practice leadership. It's not a, oh, I one day I have it or one day I don't have it as well. Like Richard
100%.
Branson isn't just the head of Virgin. Virgin started as a small company and it grew, and as he was growing with it, his leadership like abilities, it had to like change, it had to adapt. But
Mm.
he grew as a leader as well, and that's why Virgin. I mean, it feels like Virgin slapped their name on it, like so many different areas, like Virgin this, Virgin airplanes, Virgin food, Virgin experience days. There's so many different
Mm.
Virgin things, but it's because he knows how to be a leader over the whole organization and allow people who are really good in their specific areas to grow and develop in their space as well.
I think also something that's really important that you mentioned was you said about, that person with finances, they can't manage £100, so they're gonna struggle to manage £1,000,000. And I think that a really important part of leadership is understanding maybe what hinders your progress. So, for example, you might be leading in a certain area, but what is the constant issue that's stopping you from being an effective leader? So, for example, with money, obviously that person has poor finances, but you might be a great leader, but you can be really aggressive under pressure. So you need to find a way to improve on that to help you become a better leader. So I think, leaders aren't perfect. It's accepting that you have areas in you that aren't perfect and actually finding a way to improve. If it means you get counseling. I know, do you know this guy? What's his name? I always talk about him. Anthony O'Neill. He's like a Ramsey
Yes, yes, yes,
personality.
yes, yeah.
Exactly. And he was saying that as a leader, he needs to make sure that people say all sorts of things in his comments and stuff like that on social media. He needs to make sure that he doesn't allow those comments to affect him as a leader. So what he does is he goes and gets therapy, he gets counseling to make sure that those parts, those things that people talk about don't affect his leadership. So I think it's really important to do that too.
Actually, just on the back of what Blessings just said, I feel like when it comes to leadership, you are only as good as your team.
Mm.
As in, this, you should be with your team should be reflecting you, and you should be also reflecting your team. Um, your team should also. So let's talk about uh, hmm, okay. So you have a leader who is teaching in finances. Why would I speak to you if your finances is just as poor as mine, or my finances are not getting better through following you?
Very
Um,
loud.
so, what results am I necessarily getting because you're a charismatic speaker, or because what you're saying works? Um,
Mm.
you know,
That's a good point.
If that makes sense. I don't know how to reword it, but
No, it does make sense. I've heard, did you ever get those on your YouTube videos? Now, I'm not saying that they're not legitimate or whatever, but like you get all those like seminars and stuff come up with like free sessions, come to this, come to that. And in as much as that's great, sometimes it might not be for you or it's not going to develop you. So you also need to know what works for you. And yeah, use those resources rather than just, oh, everyone's talking about this or this person speaks so well, but is it actually leading you to improve? So
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I completely agree. And as well as a leader, I think it's um it's important, from what Emmanuella says, it's also important to lead by example. And I think Blessings mentioned before about being able to delegate and stuff and knowing the type of character you are and what works well with you and what doesn't work as well. But when it comes to leading, it's important to be open to suggestions and to criticism and be able to take it and go, okay, let's work on it together. How can we improve this? How can we move these things around and work better as a team? And I completely agree with, like, your team is a reflection of you. So that means as a leader, especially when you're a leader in a space where you can choose your team, because sometimes right. So for example, when people, I think they used to do it in TV shows a lot, right? Where they show, pick your football team or pick your sports team.
Yeah.
And people would be picking. And the same with like in business and stuff. When people work with teams, or they have to hire employees, for example, it's so important to know that you may not get the right people on the first go. And sometimes you have to, like, let's see how this is going to work. It's not going to work. Goodbye. Let's find someone else who can step into that space. I've worked with teams where like someone was saying a really good chat, they were saying really good things and it looked great, and I just kept like, I don't want to step on your toes, so I just keep poking in. How's it going? It's going well. Then the day before, things are falling apart because you did nothing that you said you were meant to do, and I'm there
really
like rushing, trying to pull up like all the things and get things ready for the event. And that, I mean, this was back when I was in secondary school, but when that happened, it was a wake up call. I mean, I got support at home and stuff to make sure things were ready because it was something that was important for the event. But it made me go, okay, all right. So one, as a leader, you need to know to check in with people and find out actually how's it going. Do you need support? What's going on? But you also need to lovingly let people go as well at times if it looks, because there was something that wasn't sitting right in me, but I also didn't want to feel uncomfortable. So I'm like, oh, we're all in the same age group and we're all da 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 da. But sometimes you're gonna have people who are older than you, your age. You work really well in this area together, but actually they're really bad in another area, and you have to be able to bless and release.
Ooh, that's a really, really good point. And I'm not at that. I've not experienced that yet, where I've had to let people go. But one day, yeah, I know. I don't know. Have you had to do that, Emmanuella?
Let people go.
So, like, for example, not like you've not had been the leader in a job or something, and then you're like, bye, you're leaving the job. But kind of like you're in a team and you're like, actually, I don't think you work very well with this. Not in a rude way, but kindly.
No, actually, no. No.
Sinead's gonna have to give us tips because
I've never been in a team, and I'm just like, no, we don't work well together. I think the only thing I can pinpoint is like GCSE drama, but it's not like, no, we don't work well together. Go away. It's like, yeah, unnecessary.
Yeah. And I think from those moments as well, I mean, generally, even if you've worked with someone, you just bear the brunt of it, you went through, you struggled through, you learn from those situations. So I had times where I was like, I got the opportunity to say if I did or didn't want to work with these people, and I made it very clear I do not want to work with these people again, because it's too much headache. Like I cannot, like, I need someone who at 6 p.m. we can still be pushing. At 8 p.m. we can still be pushing sometimes because something has come up. And doesn't mean that's going to be every day, and not everyone works like that. Some people are like 5 p.m. is cut off time, goodbye, my work day is finished, when tomorrow your deadline. tomorrow's the deadline, it's the presentation,
No.
this is the make or break. You're gonna be like, I need someone who will be like, okay, let's push a little bit longer to make this what it needs to be and stuff. And I guess part of that as well is a little bit of a perfectionism thing. But
I really, yeah. But the thing is, though, I didn't notice that because, I guess this is more on our personal group chat. But when you send stuff in, I'm just like, yeah, let's just respond. And I guess maybe we all have similar personality types in a sense. We just like to get things done. But I think this is a good tip if I find myself in a situation where there are different people, to make sure that you understand their side too. Yeah.
And how people work and stuff. So, let us look at the 3 things that we want you guys to take away, unless you guys have anything else to add today about rebirthing the leader in you. Oh, I want to add, sorry, I do want to add as well, in terms of rebirthing the leader in you, it's okay to start again, right? And I say that, it's just come to my mind just thinking about rebirthing. The whole point is that, okay, I was kind of a leader like this, but you go back, you learn some things, you grow as an individual, you can start again, and start growing in that space. And sometimes to grow as a leader, you need to be able to step back and be a follower, or be in a team, to be able to work out, okay, what's the dynamics? What do I like about this leadership? What do I not like? But it's okay to step back, learn a bit, and then go forward into your leadership position. And don't be afraid. Just push yourself out there, step up, and everything. I think too many times the opportunity is sometimes in front of people, and they don't just like try it.
For real. Taking that bold step.
I
stole that from someone off LinkedIn. I've definitely heard that before somewhere. But yeah, let's share our 3 things to take away. I can start and then I'll pass it on. So my first thing would be, leaders are readers. We mentioned it earlier, but it's really important to keep learning and take in knowledge to perfect your craft. You've not reached the top of I don't know how to put that. How do I put that? You've not reached the top of, how do I put it?
The pyramid,
the what?
Everything.
You know what I mean, guys. You've not reached the peak of all knowledge in that area. Exactly. Yeah. So there's more to learn. So, if it means having more conversations with people, reading more books, joining more lectures, especially things are online now. So it's so easy to learn new information. There's no excuses anymore. So keep reading, keep, engaging in whatever you do in your area. And yeah, that would make you a better leader. That would be my tip. Anyone else want to go next?
Oh, my tip would be, we are all experts in some area. Shernorva gave an amazing example of someone being really good at cleaning the toilet. And I remember when my mum told me a story of how this man just knew how to sell sand, like just sand, like bags of sand. And now he has his own company of selling sand. So it's just like, you are an expert in some area. Find it, develop it, and let other people know and share with others.
I completely, especially that sand example. When you think of all those man-made beaches, I mean, someone has to come and bring the sand to go into them. In the UK, all those fake beaches. And even from what you're saying, I one time saw someone selling air to China as well, bottling clean air.
Oh yeah, because they have bad pollution, don't they?
Yeah. I don't really know how that works. You open it and it all escapes, doesn't it? But maybe you like put a straw, suck a bit in, cover the straw, suck a bit in. I don't know.
I saw another. Sorry to go off a tangent. I saw another one that there was a little kid who made necklaces out of pasta. So like he put pasta in like gold paint and then put it on the string, and he gave one to Meghan Markle. When she came to Australia, and now he makes money from selling pasta necklaces on a string, and he uses the money to give it to charity. So he's
that is amazing.
Necklaces. So lovely. There needs to be more opportunities for those sort of things, man. Let kids like have fun and play around.
Don't know if I'd wear it, but I would buy it because it's for charity. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I'd wear a pasta necklace. Would you?
Fancy dress,
I would.
costume,
Just like,
maybe.
See, she said fancy dress. I'm not the only person. Emmanuella's like, I love kids too much. I
It
would.
depends on what it's for. Like I couldn't. It would. Yeah, it depends on what it's for.
Yeah, and it
what
depends
it
how
looks like.
Yeah. Because in my head, anyway.
I'm thinking about like the crafts we used to do as a child when you just like
Exactly.
the paint on it and stuff. But his might look bespoke pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And the last point to take away is that leaders aren't perfect. Like cut them a little bit of slack, give them a bit of space to be able to grow and stuff. It's okay to if something is not adding up, like it's okay to go and speak to them in private and have a conversation saying, actually, I don't like this, or this is not working. How can we as a team support you, or what things do you need to feel support from me, and then if they're not listening at that stage, then you escalate and do what you need to do. But you do that with the awareness that these people aren't perfect. Like even Beyonce, yeah, I feel like she comes up a lot in terms of these sort of things. But even
you
Beyonce,
bring her up a lot more,
I do. With her Beyonce, with her 48 hours in a day, that no one understands where she's found this extra 24 that no one else in life has.
Honestly.
But I'm sure even as a leader herself, and she leads a lot of people. I've seen the 8 tour buses that she had to take to Coachella and all of that to be able to have her whole team on. That some things they might be like, I don't really like that. It's not working for me and stuff. And then you have conversations with your line manager who may have a conversation with Beyonce, and she's like, okay, I understand. I see that. Let's see how we can adapt, how we can work this and stuff. People want to help you. Okay, nice people want to help and want to adapt and to learn as well. Nice leaders. Yeah. So I think that's it for today, guys. I think we've touched everything. I hope you feel
sliced it, all of that.
Yes. And really step into your leadership and stuff. Like practice, learn, make mistakes, grow. All of those things. Read.
Last thing. Because I know many young people can be here, but if you're at school and there's a leadership opportunity, go for it. You will thank yourself later. You never know what that could lead to. You never know how that's going to help you. Go for it. Even if it's form captain, be the best form captain that you can be. You know, like people think that that's a small role. Please, you never know. Leaders were born up. Yeah,
and
that's my last thing.
And I just want to add to that as well. Like when it comes to being like head girl or on the executive team, or I can't remember what they call it.
Senior prefect.
America, like no, America isn't it like president. They have like a name for it in the school.
Valedictorian.
No, valedictorian is to do with like your education, like how good. There's a name for the. No, I can't remember the name of it. It's something like school president or something like that. But people don't just step into those roles. Like people see that they were good with the smaller leadership roles, or they put themselves out. They took a lot of leadership roles. They led in class. They led outside of class stuff. They knew how to. There's a lot of things that people lead. You don't just find a randomer who becomes head of the school. It doesn't work like that. Usually when people see someone, they're like, oh yeah, this person was really, they were doing bits. They were always like really pushing and doing things. So yeah, that's just to encourage you guys as well. Don't feel like people, they see you who's going and heading the music, your music club. They see you when you're heading maths. They see you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So this has been fun. We will see you all very soon. Next week we have our lovely guest podcast coming out. We're not going to tell you who it is. You will see next week. You're going to see this next week. And we're so excited to speak to you soon. So, bye.
Bye.
We're really glad you joined us today. Check us out on Instagram, Afrodias, and comment on today's podcast post. Don't forget, be phenomenal.